going on a walk, so I just decided that I should treat this topic because a lot of people have been asking me this same question. So yesterday had I received a message from someone, one of my fans. He sent me a message to ask for advice if it's still worth it for him to come to Australia to study. And before he sent that message, I think that should be the third message I would be receiving on this same topic this year. Last year I received a couple of messages like that, and this year we just in April, and this is the third time that I will be receiving that same message. So I decided that I should just come here to drop my candid advice or my response to the question in this place so that most people would watch it from this place and would have to come over to ask me the same question. But anyway, if you ask me, I'm happy to answer. I'm pretty much happy to help. But I just feel that just for the wider audience to have an answer or to know my opinion on this question, that is why I'm making this video. So the question is it still profitable or is it still advisable to come to Australia to study? Now, for those that don't know, just a brief background on why this question keeps popping up is because of sometimes last year, or was it 2 years ago or last year? I pretty much don't remember exactly when it happened. Australia introduced something. Okay, let me start from here. You know, when you study in Australia, you get for 2 to 3 years postgraduate work visa. So for masters, you get 2 years, and bachelors 2 years. For PhD, you get 3 years. And during COVID or post COVID, this number of years was increased, I think from 2 to 3 years and from 3 to 4 years. And then if you study in regional areas in Australia, so in Australia, where we call regional area is every other city apart from Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. So any any other place is referred to as regional area. Hi, I can see you guys. Kevin is saying hi. Hi, Kevin. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining my live. So, as I was saying, every other place in Australia, apart from Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, is regarded to as regional area. When you study, if you study in this area, you even get extra 1 to 2 years for postgraduate work visa. So for a PhD, you're going to get 6 years. Then for masters, you're going to get 4 years or thereabout. So after COVID, sometimes 2 years ago, a lot of people came into Australia, and then there was housing crisis. So because of the housing crisis, the government felt that, or the statistics showed that it was because of too much migration into the country. That was why there was housing crisis. So what the government tried to do was to reduce migration, reduce the people coming into Australia. And then it was discovered that most of the people coming into Australia are students. So the government put strategies in place to reduce students remaining in Australia after studying. So part of what they did was to reduce the number of years or the age for applying for postgraduate work visa, especially for masters and for bachelors. For PhD, it remains 50 years. But if you study masters in Australia or bachelors in Australia, you must be less than 35 years to be able to apply for postgraduate work visa. So what the government basically wants is that instead of applying for postgraduate work visa, if you are more than 35 years, it's better you apply for work visa. And some of these organizations can sponsor you to remain in Australia. So I get people asking me that, some people that are more than 35 years, that is it worth it to come to Australia? Are they going to get people to sponsor them? You see the trick there? So my candid advice that I normally give to people, I'm going to give them the advice here, is that it depends on you and your motive for coming to Australia to study. I don't know if you get what I mean. So now, if you are coming to Australia just to study, to get that Australian experience, because universities in Australia are among the world-class universities. You know, studying in Australia, there are lot of benefits. You're gonna have that internationally recognized degree. You're going to mix with a lot of people. It's good for the connection, because you're going to mix with a lot of people. You're going to meet people. You get, so if you know that you want to come to Australia to study, to get the experience and go back to your country to work, to apply that experience, or to work somewhere else, and then Australia is for you. Because there are a lot of advantages studying in Australia. Just imagine you've studied in your country, and then you've worked, maybe your bachelor's in your country, and then you work, then you come to Australia here to do your master's or maybe PhD. If you apply for a job, and probably you also did some job in Australia, if you apply for a job in World Bank or like in with UN, you're going to have an edge over someone that just only studied in his country and work in his country. And then if you do your PhD in Australia and then you go back to your country, if you apply for postdoc in any other country, US, Canada, Australia, the UK, Philippines, anywhere, Nigeria, Ghana, India, Nepal, anywhere, you're going to have an edge over someone that only just remain in his country and just study just in his country. So that is one of the advantage that I'm going to say. And that's why I said that if your motive is just to come, study, get the experience, and go back to your country, then yes, Australia is for you. Even if you are more than 35 years, then fine. I would advise you to go ahead, do it. But again, we have some other set of people that maybe get some loan, they collected loan to come to us to Australia to study, because it's pretty expensive studying in Australia. I must admit that. So if you collect loan to come to Australia, and then your aim is to remain in Australia after you study, to work, so as to be able to recover the money that you have spent, then if you are close to 35 years, or you're going to be 35 years when you graduate from your master's degree, it's better you think of it very well. Because you might think that when you graduate, you're going to get postgraduate work, you're going to get a visa sponsored job before you graduate. It might not be so. It's just a matter of luck. You might get or you might not get, because most organizations in Australia would want to employ someone that have a lot of experience in that field, especially Australian experience. So it might take some time for you to get a job. I know some people that came into Australia and then they get job, visa sponsored job before they graduate. Why I know a lot of people, heaps of them, that come to Australia and graduate without getting visa sponsored job. So as for me, I don't deceive myself. I take risk, but also I take calculated risk. let's say the kind of calculated risk I take is that if I know that I want to come to Australia and then I plan to remain in Australia to work when I graduate, I would make sure that I'm less than 35 years when I graduate, so that if I don't get a job, then I would be eligible to apply for postgraduate work visa. So it's a two-way thing. That is calculated risk. So I'm not just going to come knowing that I'm not I'm not eligible to apply for postgraduate work visa or to remain in Australia if I don't get a job. Then I come with the hope of getting a visa sponsored job when I finish. It doesn't work that way. So from what I've said, the summary of what I've said is that it depends on your motive, of your intentions of coming to Australia. If you are more than 35 years and your motive is to come here, finish your education, get the desired experience, and then you go back to your country to or to any other country to use that experience that you have acquired, then yes, Australia is for you. Come. But if you know that your plan is to remain in Australia to get a job when you finish, if you are more than 35 years, then you have to rethink your plan. Rethink it, calculate that very well. And again, there are other visa options. It must not be study. If you have the interest of coming to Australia to work, then you don't have to come with the study route. If you are more than 35 years especially, you could apply for visa sponsored job right from your countries. Go on, there are a lot of websites. We have sick.com. I made a video on that before. I could make a video on that later. If you want me to make a video on pathway of coming to Australia to work, like how to come to Australia to work or to of or for direct permanent residency, leave it in the comment section. I would make a video on that if I get people that needs that information. Just to say that there are lots of other pathways of coming to Australia. We have the permanent residence, that direct pathway. We have the 189, which is the federal scale. We have the 190, which is the state nomination. We have the 491, which is the 491, which is the regional um, nomination, nominated by state. So there are lots of other pathways you could come to Australia instead of using up your money, coming to Australia to study, hoping to remain in Australia and not being able to remain. It could be frustrating, right? Because you have spent a lot in Australia. It's pretty expensive, like living in Australia. So you have to calculate yourself very well. So if you want me to make a video about pathways you could of coming to Australia, the pathways, let me know in the comment section. I would be happy to do that. That's all from me today. See you again next time. And for those that joined the live, I would want to say thank you for joining. Please share this video so that a lot of people would benefit from it. Don't be selfish. Share so that a lot of people would benefit from it. Thank you so much. See you again later. Bye. All right, guys. Bye. See you. Timothy Grace, I saw that you joined the live. Thank you for joining. Ashlyn, thank you. Ranu Singh, Thank you, Kelvin. Kumar. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Even if I don't call your name, just know that I'm pretty much grateful for joining. Please share this video so your friends would also get the information and they would be informed, and it's going to encourage me to do more videos like this. Thank you guys. See you later. Bye.